Hi, folks. Cliff from Talking Pondo here. I want to give you a quick warning about the upcoming episode. We do talk about the movie in quite a bit of detail, plot points, and so on, so there will be spoilers. And just fair warning, there is some adult language every now and then, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. Also, you can watch our latest film trilogy, Writing Frenzy, Revenge of Zoe, and The Love Song of William H. Shaw. Those are available on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Fossum, Hoopla, and Zumo. So get out there and give them a watch. I hope you enjoy the episode. Thanks for listening. Right away, one of my notes on this is the credits roll over the whole song, and this doesn't give me a lot of hope for the rest of this movie.
Oh, there's an hour of performance. Yeah.
There is way too much satire country in this for me.
It's all satire, I think. I think all the music is satire.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But the point I'm making is like, there's way too fucking much of it, and a lot of it's really bad.
Well,
like a lot of it's not even funny. It's just you know, like the object here, obviously, like at one point, one of my other notes is, am I supposed to be laughing? Because a lot of this shit is just falling dead on the floor in front of me, and I'm going, like, where's the chuckle? Where's anything? It's like a Borat movie where nothing's firing.
Yeah, it's an awkward cringe. Welcome to Season 3 of Talking Pondo. Talking Pondo is a podcast where Cliff and Marty give each other a film to watch and talk about them in detail. Some episodes will include a special guest.
All right, Marty, that's us. We're back.
Oppenheimer plays the Grand Ole Opry will not be seen this week, so we may bring you this other weapon of mass destruction. You know, I can keep these up, or I can let it go.
I love it. I think you should continue. I quite liked that one especially. So, welcome back. I'm Cliff. That's Marty. This is Talking Pondo. And I think this is Season 3, Episode 11, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so,
Yeah. We talked to our good buddy Drew last week, and now we got Nashville and Oppenheimer this week.
Oh yeah, it's Oscar bait week.
Oscar bait indeed.
The two more Best Picture nominees, one that actually won Best Picture. It's funny, we haven't even done 100 episodes, and we've done multiple Best Picture already.
Well, we like our movies here. These are both. So first thing I will say is commonality. These are both Nexus movies, like Nobody's Business. These movies have so many freaking well-known actors in damn near every role that you can, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at one point you get Gaylord Sartrain and Ned Beatty in the same fucking scene. I mean, are you kidding me?
Blink and you'll miss Gaylord Sartain. One of my notes there of Hollywood Nights fame.
Yep, of Hollywood Nights fame. And so we'll get to that. But I'm just saying, that's how Nexus-y this freaking movies both were. Where it's just like, Jesus, okay, and who else are you putting in this damn thing? It was literally like scooping jelly beans and just getting nothing but the best jelly bellies. No licorice,
Yeah, Hollywood Nights, another movie that feels like the same type of frantic. That's that 70s editing for you. Yeah, blink and you'll miss Gaylord Sartain. I'd say another commonality, I'd say, is what was it? This one, and it's like, okay, so if you watch Oppenheimer first.
I did.
And then watch Nashville, because it's almost like chronological series of events, because they end up talking about, Kennedy in the Oppenheimer, and it bleeds into the Nashville movie. And it's like, oh, weird. Kind of like how the Straight Story mirrored with the Stalag 17 and the Francis the Talking Mule thrown in,
If we had watched JFK in between, it might have been the greatest triple feature of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing that separated the two, is the assassination of JFK.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I heard that I guess the mall where they filmed Dawn of the Dead is it's they're like losing its lease or it's going to be destroyed, and Ken Faree is fervently screaming about trying to save them all. And folks, that's a landmark. That's one, in my opinion, probably my favorite zombie movie is The Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of, surviving in the mall is such a cool 80s idea. And folks, if you weren't in the mall in the 80s or the 90s, you don't know what I'm talking about. But
I'm sure we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. But it's a shame that mall might be torn down.
Well, they want to turn it into a Walmart.
Boo, Walmart. Don't do that.
And then it becomes even scarier than it was in the movie.
Yeah. Then it becomes...
You have real zombies bouncing into each other, wandering around.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Wow, maybe that is the ultimate fate, right? But yeah, I saw that too. So they're trying to see if it can be turned into a historical landmark. Did they shoot
I'd like
the
to see
Blues
that.
Brothers there too?
I'm not sure about that. I'd have to look into that, but I don't know. But either way,
I might be getting all that mixed up after all these years, all that trivia, that arcane knowledge.
The deep magic, as it were. So what do you want to start with?
Well, I'd say another commonality is
okay.
a lot of cast in both films, because both movies are long because they have a lot of cast. Nashville has no fewer than 24.
It's definitely an ensemble piece. There isn't really a...
funny to try to count off all 24 of them off the top of our head before we start talking about that movie. But no, let's do Oppie first, because to go in chronological, All
right, Oppie it is. You're not going to ask me what is Oppenheimer?
What is the workman-like meticulousness known as Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer 2023 rated R, 3 hours long. Ooh. A dramatization of the life story of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the physicist who had a large hand in the development of the atomic bombs that brought an end to World War II. This is directed by Mr. Nolan, written by Mr. Nolan, Kai Bird, Martin Sherwin, stars Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Florence Pugh, and a host of others.
Hello, Emily Blunt. We haven't seen you since Sicario.
Truth. Including Robert Downey Jr. Your storyline, a dramatization of the life story of Robert Oppenheimer, who had a large hand in the deployment of the atomic bomb. We see his life from university days all the way to post-World War II, where he saw his fame embroiled in political machinations. I think that's a little simplistic. Basically, the story is like 4 backstories about Oppenheimer's work on the atomic bomb in his life, but also this backstory of Robert Downey Jr.'s character Strauss trying to basically destroy his reputation in his career, right?
The overarching story, I'd say, story A is Oppenheimer's can't get his security clearance. They'll really simplify it, especially for the last hour after all the bomb and the war stuff. Now it's just an hour about, is he going to get his security clearance? But I mean, it does make sense for the way that they set it up. In the beginning, you're seeing all these back and forth, almost like an episode of Lost. Which order is it going in? But then by the end of it, it's like, oh, it's all about Strauss being... what did I write? It reminded me of Amadeus a little bit. How dude didn't, he was jealous of him. And I mean, as far as the movie goes, not as far as like real life events.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, it's not like it had it's not like it had a Salieri type relationship.
Well, they weren't like the buddies or anything.
Or even rivals. It was, Oppenheimer showing up at a hearing and basically embarrassing him, and this dude harboring this public wound for years until he could get back at Oppenheimer and kind of fuck him over, And it's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, it to me, it really shows if that's true, what a petty man Strauss was. Like, damn, dude, and all over whether they should make an atomic bomb that killed 1 million people or 200,000 people, or a hydrogen bomb, which is a thermonuclear bomb, which would kill 2 million people. It was like, what's enough for you, I guess. But,
right.
So my first question was, why black and white for Downey's hearing scenes? Like, to me, the only thing I could come up with was at one point he was just like, I gotta have some sort of way to give you the thread that's the most recent that everything flows off of, because I'm juggling so many backstories. If I keep flipping back and forth and I don't give you a black and white, you're gonna get lost. And it was like, well, then to me, it was like, well, then tell the story differently. Like, I don't see the need for the black and white at all. It added nothing to the film. It didn't make it seem contemporary or current. It didn't put me in the mindset of 1950. It didn't, because it wasn't real black and white. First off, it's just that kind of removal of color that digital black and white does. And I mean, unless he shot that in black and white,
I think this is the first movie to use black and white IMAX film.
Really? It didn't look right.
That's probably why it looks bizarre, because
it didn't look right. Yeah,
I mean, it's small.
Yeah, but you watch like
format.
Night of the Hunter, and then you watch this, and you're like,
so it looks different. So super crisp that it almost looks like
it's weird.
Like we've talked about before. The opaqueness of the screen probably helps, but it's interesting you tap into this because, like I mentioned, workmanlike meticulousness, and I think it's the reason why Christopher Nolan movies don't necessarily work for me. I still enjoyed this one, of course, but I mean overall,
I enjoyed it too.
Ones that I've seen, it's like people would argue if I said, Dark Knight wasn't that great or something like that, and it'd be like, but what? He put in all this effort and he mapped everything out and he took care of every little detail. Well, yeah, you were paid to do your job, so that's why all that's there. But that doesn't mean that that's going to result in a good film.
Right.
It makes it a pleasant, easy to view film, but I also think that black and white thing is an example of that, where it's
you know what I think
we laid it all out, but there's no passion or humanity to it.
Imagine a chef.
Might be the point.
Imagine a chef, right? Imagine a chef who makes food look beautiful on a plate, but when you eat it, it's burnt or it's not seasoned well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, I mean, it's edible. It's okay. I can eat it. Not burnt, I guess, but overdone, right? It's edible. I can eat it, but I don't have any pleasure in it, right? There's no real, nothing I can really sink my teeth into or really feel like I'm really coming away with something that I'll talk about for a long time. We went to we went to a Mexican restaurant, right, a couple of years ago, and you and I still talk about that dinner. It's a well-known place in Tucson, and you and I both were like, damn, that food, that salsa, and I'm not saying that's the difference, right? To me with this film, it looked great on the plate. It was edible. It tasted fine. But it's not something. It's nothing that I'm going to come back and tell other people a lot about.
There's no substance. Kind of.
None really.
An emptiness.
No. It's the same fillet with asparagus and potato, whatever starch that you're giving me.
And it's also a weird biopic to try to find the story on too. Presented. Mm-hmm. So it's going to come off as dry and lack of humanity. It's almost like if Big Bang Theory was a drama.
Oh, I have a note here that says mathematics and montages. I saw this already. It's called A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah, and before that, it was called Real Genius.
And he montages his way through an hour of this movie. I mean, it's he moved, and I get it. He's moving a lot of dirt and moving a lot of weight to get the story told, but it's still like, damn.
Oh, here's a note that ties into that. Am I watching a movie or listening to an audiobook? Because the blurts of trying to put so much information into what they're saying so we understand the story is, well, you did it. And I come away from it knowing all the detail that you wanted me to, but wow, was it a movie or a lecture about a topic,
Yeah.
not like lecturing, like trying to hammer home a point, but I'm saying like you go and see an academic lecture to learn about a topic, and it's just like that's a lot of what was told to us at one point. That's a lot of words, guys. That's a lot of words.
It's there's a moment where he goes to this guy to give his kid up because neither he or his wife can basically be bothered to take care of this kid and that they've had, and the dude's just like, it's okay. He goes, I'm a terrible person, and he goes, it's okay, you're brilliant, and that sort of theme is repeated throughout the movie, where it was just like, it's summed up in this statement of, don't you realize you're brilliant, you genius son of a bitch? It's okay, you gave your baby up, you're a genius, and you killed you're a genius, it's okay. It seems to be
that you gave your baby up.
The theme of this movie seems to be, well, it's okay whatever he did because he's a genius. He's smart. He had to do it. I mean, that's what smart people do, is they make giant atom bombs. It's fine. What?
Well, that is the movie that we're trying to make, right? Because it comes down to, do we give him the clearance or not?
Mm-hmm.
Do we give him the hand wave because he's the genius, or no?
Well, I mean, he was never going to get that clearance in that hearing because that was all orchestrated by Strauss anyways.
Of course, yeah.
I have a note about this Blade Runner ass synth score is really taking me out of the movie. There are literally just like full on sort of synthesized brass scores in this that are very, because I just saw Blade Runner like 6 weeks ago in the theater, and it's just like that that type of thing is in several places in the movie where I'm just like, whoa, what the freaking, okay. JFK with all the color and the back and forth to black and white, it feels very Oliver Stone JFK.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a line that says, you don't get to commit the sin, then have us all feel sorry for you and the consequences. And that's really the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's what the movie's about.
It's almost like Blackberry,
Mm-hmm. You could have just had Emily Blunt smack Cillian Murphy at the beginning of the movie, say that line, and you would have saved us all 2 hours and 50 minutes. Just credits, that line, smack, credits, Oscar, we're out of here. I just saved 2 hours and 50 minutes of everybody's life.
She says, snap out of it. That's a different Oscar nominated film.
Right.
Well, it's like that Blackberry speech about the good is the enemy of. You just come out and say that, and then roll credits.
Perfect is the enemy of good. Yeah,
it's the most quotable line of the movie.
Good is the enemy of humanity. Yeah,
it's funny we keep picking on all these things that we don't like about the movie, even though I did like the movie. But I have another thing that kind of irritates me about some of the more modern films is I don't want to see the extras acting. I just want to see the extras be natural. Every extra in this movie does, and you can't see because this is not a visual podcast, but it starts out there like either inquisitive face or stern kind of angry face. And talk about being taken out of the movie. Yeah, that type of stuff. Thankfully that doesn't happen too much. It's mostly confined to the beginning of the movie, but there's still some of those weird quirks where it's just like, oh, this is odd choices.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of odd choices, the sex scenes in the movie were a little out there, trying to hammer home a point. I get, it's like, oh, so this is what it feels like to be in this person's shoes. But wow, what a shocker. I'm not expecting to see boardroom sex.
No. Florence Pugh's a lovely lady and a great actress, but it was to the point where it was like, all right, that's enough with the, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Again, trying to show the humanity of whatever and making it not necessarily just about the bomb and more about his life. And, I get it, but.
It reminded me of the George A. Romero movie, Martin. which I felt was kind of like about grief. And it's like this movie kind of is the closest in tone to that I've seen so far, where it's like, we're gonna make you feel something. It's like, well, I'm just trying to watch a movie about the bomb. I guess I am gonna feel something. So
yeah. Well, and by the end of the movie, they're like, Oppenheimer's a great salesman, and I'm like, a great sale. I mean, did we watch the same? Because I didn't see him selling anything in the movie. He was just basically.
Well, it's kind of like Lawrence in that respect, where he's remembered or thought of in a different way than who he
really was. I guess
or what the.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think my biggest note is the black and white and how it kept disappearing and reappearing, and then finally it just disappeared altogether.
It was a time device, right? It was to show now we're in this time again.
Yeah, it's to break up the constant time and context switching that he's doing. He's context. Boy, I'm having trouble saying that one. Context switching so much, and he's time switching so much that he's got to. It would be almost like drawing yellow, red, blue, and green lines for the viewer so that you can track. He does that shit. He does that shit in Inception and Interstellar, where he's kind of playing with the idea of warping how the story's told. Which is interesting. You haven't mentioned that because you maybe it's because it doesn't say chapters, but you hated that in Strange Darling, where it was the.
It doesn't say chapters. It
doesn't say chapters.
Holding my hand. I'm going. Okay, we've switched. I realize it's different. It's like
I wonder.
The movie saying keep up. I prefer that.
Yeah, I hear you. I wonder if it would have worked if he had taken the black and white out though and made it all color.
Or maybe they did at one point. They might have realized that no, it's like you were saying. It's a better juxtaposition.
Well, it just makes it easier to follow the threads. You know what I mean? If it's hard to trace 4 white wires back to their original sources. That's why you color them red, green, and yellow, and so on. I liked Gary. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it does take a while to get going, but you have to lay everything out, I guess. So
yeah. It's 3 fucking hours. Like this is my problem with Nolan. In general, is that he wants to do these 5-act, 2.5 hour, 3-hour films, and they get kind of a little bloated here and there, and he tends to kind of wander here and there, and it's fine. I mean, he's a good filmmaker. I'm not taking anything away from the guy. He makes a pretty film. It looks good. He's a good storyteller, but it just seems like I don't know. He's, I don't know, overtelling. It's like listening to an 8-year-old go, and then what happened was, and then we're just just finish the story, man. Just get to the story, and then
finish the goddamn story, man.
Yes, finish the goddamn story. Just listen, kid, just finish the story.
I think it's. Trying to appeal to 4 quadrants. Sometimes you have to, in a movie like this, in such a dry subject matter, they're going to lay it out as much as they can so everybody can follow it.
Well, I mean, I read these reviews when it came out of like, my God, I'm just lucky to be alive to watch a Christopher Nolan movie. I'm like, dude,
that's a little bit much.
What's fucking wrong with you people?
It's not like it's a bad film, but it's not like the most amazing thing I've seen either.
God, no.
Just watch the 3rd season of Twin Peaks. I think it's episode 8. That's a much creepier nuclear explosion. Although this one comes pretty close. It's weird to see it in color.
Yeah, very, very, very true. Yeah.
I mean, it has a lot of your typical, that guy betrayed him, and this person was loyal, and I'm not shaking your hand, and But I think going back to that sex scene, I think it also shows that when he was with his wife later on, that she's always like straight laced and.
Right.
It's like a different type of personality, even though she's the one having kids left and right, apparently. But so was everybody in Los Alamos, according to this film. So,
well, and I mean, I love that scene at the end where she's brought in to talk to the in the hearing, and she just sort of lays waste to every question that she's given.
mm-hmm.
That's probably for me the best scene in the movie. It's well written, it's funny, it's well done.
And they said they weren't going to put her on the stand.
Yeah,
and they did. Yeah. So, how do you feel this relates to Barbie? Now that we've had the Barbenheimer effect,
I don't think it does.
I mean, there's the commonality is obviously the themes of death and destruction, because Barbie was wondering about what it was like to be dead, and so is Oppenheimer the more cheerful film of the two? If you get to the subtext,
I don't think Barbie's about wondering about if you're dead or not. I think Barbie having those thoughts is about putting her in touch with the reality of the human world, right? But I don't think it's morbid like Oppenheimer is.
Was Oppenheimer in touch with the reality of the actual world? He lived in his own bubble as well.
I think so. I'm not sure. I mean, I think that he, like, he says early on in that, or later on in that film, like the idea of Russia will get a bomb and then we'll have nuclear talks to make sure that everybody, blah, blah, blah. And everybody looks at him like he's crazy. Like, what? No, that's not what's going to happen. Is we're going to have an arms race. We're going to get as much of these motherfuckers as we can and try to, prove that we can blow the other one up, with our overwhelming number of bombs. And that's exactly what happens, And then finally you do get strategic arms limitation treaty, the SALT talks. Now I feel like we're the two dudes in.
Oh, now it's a
party. Now it's a party Pondo movie again. It's party animal.
SALT talks.
Now I'm lining up dildos to simulate all the missiles flying at each other. But
it's a movie, people.
It's a movie. Mm-hmm.
No, it really is. It's called the party animal. We're not making that up. It's called the SALT talks, strategic arms
limitation treaties. It's very good. It's very good. Gary Oldman as Truman was a fun choice.
Yeah.
So I guess he's played Truman and he's played Churchill.
Yeah. Nexus casting.
Yeah. This cast is insane. Matt Damon, Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Robert Downey Jr., Scott Grimes, Jason Clarke, James Darcy, Kenneth Branagh. It goes on and on and on. Like, it's so many of like the background character actors that, the young ones that are carrying all the load now. They're everywhere in this thing. It's ridiculous.
Freddie Mercury is in the movie.
Is he?
Oh yeah, Rami.
That's right, Rami. Yeah, he plays a big part at the end. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Matthew Modine is in this thing. It's just going through the list. You're like, him, okay, him, Casey Affleck's in this movie. It's
Han Solo is in this movie.
Hans, yes. It's nuts. Anyway, I'm not saying I hated it. I think part of my reaction to the movie and the reason that I'm reviewing it like I am is because of the numerous fanboys out there who seem to think that Nolan is the end all be all of filmmaking. And I just can't help but think, hey, he's good. He makes a good film. He makes a good movie, but they're not that great. They're just not. I don't think he's worth that sort of adoration, I guess. Mm-hmm. I especially agree with you on The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is a bunch of amazing Heath Ledger scenes and then a bunch of bad Two-Face and a bunch of terrible stuff with Maggie Gyllenhaal that we have to deal with so that we can get to the Joker shit, which is what we want to see anyways. But anyway.
Yeah, workman-like meticulousness.
Yep. I mean, his visuals are great. Like he creates some really great visuals in his films. I'm not denying any of that.
It's all there. The work is done, but what is the effect? Well, for some people, it blows them away, and the rest of us are going, not exactly saying the emperor wears no clothes, but, you know.
Yeah. No. Yeah, but at the same time wondering, this is what you can hold to be true greatness? Like, I can think of many films that I would rather watch than this.
Mm-hmm.
Many films that I would rather watch than this.
And that feeling right there is the feeling that either one of us has every time we dislike a film that everybody else loves. That same type of, so it's that really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't give it a number yet. I figured I'd wait until now. I guess I'll say 3.5. I mean, it doesn't need me to take it all the way up to a 4, but I don't really see myself watching it again on my own volition. And usually, if it's a 4, I'm like, there's something that's going to make me want to watch it again. I'm sure I'd get more out of it probably if I did watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that first part, because there's so much going on and you don't know who everybody is yet, much like our next film. But I'm sure repeat viewings are going to give you more out of it. I just don't know if I'm going back anytime soon for 3 more hours of Oppie, whose first name is, what does the J stand for?
Jerkoff.
Julius.
It's
your twin brother Julius.
It's your twin brother Julius. I'm going to go, and this is because I probably won't watch this again. I'm going to go 3 stars.
Yeah,
I think it's too, you know. I technically I think it's well made. I think it is too long. I think that he is indulging himself a bit. And that there are scenes that could have been cut to save the audience the amount of time. This does not need to be 3 hours. It's visually got some really cool shit in it. He tells a good story, but he is trying to plait a very large braid with all of the storylines that he's making and weaving. And it's not that they aren't obvious and that you can't see them, but it's that it seems to kind of at times lack the artifice of it seems clunky.
Yeah,
clunky. I guess is the best way to put it. Mm-hmm. So, so 3 for me. I mean, I think it's no hate on anybody who likes this or thinks Nolan's great. I think it's a newer generation's filmmaker than
biopics are hard.
Mm-hmm.
Or biopics.
I would rather watch Barbie than this.
Yeah. My last note is one of the very last credits of the film says, "This film was shot and finished on film." It was one of the very last credits. The polar opposite of Strange Darling.
Polar opposite of Strange Darling. We wanted
to put it right up in the front, shot on 35 millimeter. And meanwhile, this movie, the first film to ever shoot black and white IMAX, is not even barely mentioning it until the very end. But, they mention it where all like the film companies' logos are listed and stuff. But I just thought that was kind of funny. Like, hey, one movie puts it at the very beginning, one movie hides it.
Well, I guess I was wrong about the black and white, but that black and white sure doesn't look.
I think it's because it's a new thing, and it's supposed to be viewed large. Even when you watch something IMAX on a smaller screen, the smaller it gets, the sharper it looks, and so of course it gives it that.
Maybe that's what
video
it is.
Yeah. Look.
Well, apologies if it was black and white film. Good deal. Apologies, but
see, we can't tell anymore. It's the argument of film versus digital. Can the eye even tell the difference anymore of how sharp it's getting?
All right. Well, that leads us to Nashville.
Nashville, a movie that has no less than 24, not main characters, but characters who actually have threads and stuff. And while we could try to name them all, I don't think I'm going to make Cliff go through all that. But what is Nashville in a nutshell?
Let's see here. Nashville. How did I end up on casting crew here? Here we go. Nashville, 1975, rated R, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Over the course of a few hectic days, numerous interrelated people prepare for a political convention. Is that what happened?
I mean, that's a really vague attempt at trying to oversight everything, but that's not really what.
Directed by Robert Altman, written by Joan Tewksbury.
That's just kind of happened to be
it
happening.
Stars Keith Carradine, Karen Black, Ronnie Blakely, and a host of others. Like Marty said, 24 easily. Storyline: 5 days in the Nashville country and gospel music scene, filled with stars, wannabe stars, and other hangers-on. Individual stories of this small group intertwined provides a commentary on American society. The stars include good old boy Haven Hamilton, whose patriotic songs lead up to the American bicentennial belie his controlling and ruthless nature. Barbara Jean, the country music darling, who is just returning to Nashville and performing following recovery from a fire-related injury, which may have taken more of an emotional toll than a physical one. And good-looking and charismatic Tom Frank, one-third of the successful group, Bill, Mary, and Tom. And he is trying to go solo, which masks his need not to be solo in his personal life as he emotionally abuses woman after woman in love with him, including Mary, who is married to Bill. That's terrible. The wannabe stars include Albuquerque, whose real name is Winifred, who is trying to run away from her husband's star. He's not approving of her music choice. Suleen Gray, a waitress who will do anything to make it big in music despite being told directly she has no singing talent.
We are going through all 24.
Tying their stories together are Oakwool, a supported reporter for the BBC who is working on a documentary and is searching for whatever angle she can. John Triplett, a Yankee in town to organize political fundraisers, including a country music outdoor concert for third-party presidential candidate populist Hal Phil Walker, who has the potential to take just enough votes to affect the election. And Martha, who has renamed herself L.A. Jones, who is in town to visit her hospitalized ailing aunt, but who instead decides to be a groupie to any country music star she can find.
Right, this Rakim.
Jesus Christ.
Well, so I guess
that exhausting storyline is a perfect metaphor for this movie as far as this movie is as exhausting as that storyline is.
I'm sorry. It would have been easier to just try to name all 24 than had you read that. Before we go any further, these two movies have something else in common. The other film mentions my birthday several times. They're like, the 15th of July. It, of course, ends up being the 16th, but they were aiming for the 15th. And the weird thing about Nashville is it was the first day of shooting was the day I was born. Same day, same year. So I always thought that was strange. The first thing they shot was the pilot.
Interesting.
The car pilot. And so I discovered the movie, but then when I was watching the bonus stuff and you hear them talk about mid-July, what? Wait a minute. When they started shooting, you see that slate of day one and you see July 15, 74 on it. I was like, oh, that's fucking weird.
That's funny.
I show up to planet Earth the day Jeff Goldblum's film career begins. Because this is his first feature film, the very first Jeff Goldblum movie. It does have a festival type atmosphere. It reminds me of being at those Lollapaloozas, and people would take hallucinogenics, and I always think, why are you taking hallucinogenics? The concert setting is carnival-esque enough that provides the tripping. But anyways, what were you going to say?
Oh no, I said it's. I was going to say it's Jerry Weintraub's first movie. Also, Jerry Weintraub is a big time Hollywood producer, and this is his first movie he ever produced.
Nice.
He went on to produce things like, oh goodness, I want to say he went on to produce things like he was a producer on The Firm.
Yeah, I know the name.
Yeah. Karate Kid, Ocean's 13, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 11, Vegas Vacation, My Stepmother's an Alien, Karate Kid Part 2, Part 3, Karate Kid. He's Diner. He's been a producer for a long time. Cruising, he's a producer on Cruising.
Wow. Cruising, Sea of Love.
Yeah, Sea of Love. Yeah, exactly. Nashville. But anyway, so it looks like he entered the business through country music, music in general. But anyway, so Weintraub's been in a bunch of stuff.
So this movie came out 50 years ago this week, as of the time of this recording. It's kind of strange. Hit that anniversary.
Yeah, 200. So it talks about the bicentennial, which is 1976, and it made me realize that, oh shit, that means 2026 is 250. And like in I remember being 3 years old in 76, and that red, white, and blue stuff hung around for a while, like that sort of bicentennial, because they made a big deal in 76 about it locally and nationally, and a lot of that stuff hung around. But I haven't seen much of that going around for the 250.
No. It's like you could watch this and then Dazed and Confused, because you would still be seeing because they're in the bicentennial in that movie, so you would see the year up and then.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about, all the red, white, and blue bunting and all the 1776 to 1976, the quarter, back then, remember the bicentennial quarter?
Yeah. I remember it hanging around at least until 78, 79. It seemed like, I'd say, is probably when it started to dissipate a bit, but there was so much of that stuff. It was like Dick Tracy merchandise in 1990. It was fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't see it this go round. Maybe they haven't geared up yet. No.
So right away, one of my notes on this is the credits roll over the whole song, and this doesn't give me a lot of hope for the rest of this movie.
Oh, there's an hour of performance. Yeah.
There is way, way too much satire country in this for me.
It's all satire, I think. I think all the music is satire.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But the point I'm making is like, there's way too fucking much of it, and a lot of it's really bad.
Well,
like a lot of it's not even funny. It's just like the object here, obviously, like at one point, one of my other notes is, am I supposed to be laughing? Because a lot of this shit is just falling dead on the floor in front of me, and I'm going, like, where's the chuckle? Where's anything? It's like a Borat movie where nothing's firing.
Yeah, it's an awkward cringe. It's almost like Top Secret, but without being overly, because songs about I'm gonna spread you like butter or whatever are obviously satire, right? But everything you said is how I feel as well. That's why it's hard for me to watch this movie a lot, because you have to sit through so much bad on purpose music to make a point. But the thing I really like about the movie is its structure of how he can take so many different stories and make them all kind of mixed together, and then by the end where they all converge, it changed my way of story structure. Like after watching this, and then we wrote Love Song, it was like, hey, these characters that wouldn't have had anything to do with each other, let's have them start running into each other, and you get different weird results. And I think he tried to do this over and over again, and I don't know how often it worked, because you don't hear about those other movies mentioned as much. There's a few other Altman hits, but they always mentioned this one and MASH,
Okay, so first off, this has to me, this is an echo to Prairie Home Companion, which he did. And Prairie Home Companion, I think he does this sort of thing. It's trimmed down. He doesn't have as many stories he's doing, but that's probably for the best. He's got way too much going on in this fucking thing, to the point where it's not. I don't feel like it's structured at all. It's chaotic as hell. And all he's doing is sort of moving through it and deciding to pick pieces up when he wants to, right? Like, well, okay, I've got the girl who can't fucking sing and is eventually going to drop her top. All right, when do I want to do that? Let's do it here, here, and here. Okay, now I got this and Lily Tomlin singing with the choir. I don't know why. It just seems mildly racist. I don't know why that is.
Probably is.
It's weird. I don't know.
I mean, the way that the commentator is talking about it, and is she really from the BBC or is she crazy? But she's mentioning, like, oh, they look like they're from the deep jungle and shit. And it's like, whoa, lady, that's really racist. So
it's the other problem with this is, look, I know Altman kind of began that style of everyone talking at once and having
P. Anderson or Christopher Guest without this.
But this is to the point where the audio is so muddled that you can't track a lot of times what's being said.
Oh
Like
wow!
I had to turn on the fucking I had to turn on captions. It was that bad.
We have the new Blu-ray version, and I used to watch this on the DVD, and boy, that was muddied. We are much more cleaned up compared to where it used to be. Yeah,
that's all. That must be god awful. Because my lord,
you couldn't tell what was going on. Like I remember the first time I watched this movie, I thought that was fucking terrible. Like that music was awful. And then the more I thought about it and realized that the music was supposed to be bad on purpose, as saying like the person who can't sing song is just as vapid as Karen Black's vapid song, and everybody's just got their own head up their ass kind of in the business thing. Like I watched the movie a couple more times, and then I started to really enjoy it. And then like even watching it this week, I caught more things because there's so much going on that it was like it's too much to gather all at once. Kind of, it reminded me of like when you said your dad went back to see MASH again the next day because
sure,
the people were laughing too much and I couldn't catch everything. And there's something about Altman just jam.
Yeah, but that's
so much that
but
the more you watch it, the more you see how those things do all connect.
The difference is there's two big. To me, there's a big difference. MASH is much more focused, and a lot of that. Oh, I completely disagree. MASH is much more focused, and a lot of that overtalk tends to happen in two places: the fucking mess and in the OR. When you he stays away from it in a lot of other areas. Like when they go to Japan, there's not a lot of that. When they're in the swamp talking, there's not a lot of that, right? He breaks it up and it makes it really work. But in this, it's fucking all the time. Everybody in this fucking movie is constantly talking over each other, with each other, to each other, around each other, and it's like, fuck. It's not only chaotic. It's just him sort of moving from shot to shot. It's what he does is he picks a set, he sets you up, opens up the scene, puts you into a set, and then he puts 4 vignettes in it that he's decided to put within that set piece, and then he picks the camera up and he moves along to a different set piece and he does 3 or 4 more vignettes. He's done way too much cocaine during the fucking filming of this movie, dude.
Well, he still manages to make it work, I think.
This fucking movie has the coke sweats so bad all over. Like you can taste the drip in the back of your throat. That's how fucking much cocaine is fucking just. I guarantee the Master Prints have dust on them.
I've always heard that Popeye was the big coke one. That this is more of a pot one.
I think this is coke, man. Maybe
or this is some sort of more of the innovating the audio of miking everybody up and turn their mic up and turn that one over there. We haven't really had that before. It's a method, but it breaks through and changes things to where it becomes seminal, and you wouldn't get other things without it.
I don't know about that, but
totally, yeah.
I think Ned Beatty and Gaylord is great to see. On screen even for a moment,
and we know how hard it is to pull off even 1 or 2 set pieces, and this is nothing but set pieces that he's interweaving constantly. It's just,
they're not set pieces. I mean, he's basically saying, here, get on. Okay, you got this character. Here's your through line. You got this character. Here's your through line. Okay, I'm gonna put you up against this wall. Fucking go. Okay, great. Improvise, because
Oh, of course.
Yeah. I think my other partial problem with it is that the audio is really just not great, and that really frustrates me as a viewer to watch something with.
That's just what I'm saying. It's like,
what a minute, dynamics between the audio at all. It's all this sort of flat. Like, yes, there's an echo from the megaphone, and yes, there's Foley on it, but it all just seems to be so. Like in a certain frequency range, all in the same range, that it just sounds muddy and it doesn't sound good. Think about
this: like you have that trio band, right? And they're having the inter problems where she's sleeping with both of the guys in the band. Was there a movie that had that plot in it before this one?
I was going to look and see what else was Oscar nominated for Best Movie of 1975.
It didn't win. I think it was The Godfather Part 2 won.
Yeah. Okay. I think Yeah, well, first off, I think that's pretty straightforward and right on. But
it did win for best song, the Keith Carradine
yeah,
song.
Keith Carradine.
And
Yeah.
I kind of understand that because that song moves the story along. When he's performing it, no less than 4 women in the audience all think that he's singing that song directly to them. He's really just singing it to himself because he's got women all over the place. He's a horror rock star, kind of like an Almost Famous character.
Well, he's completely devoid of soul. Like that's to me, it's like he's like, I don't even care. I just the next person,
right,
next,
right.
the next person, next, and the next person, next. But let me see. Yeah, I mean, look, you can probably tell I didn't really enjoy this movie much.
I hated it the first time I watched.
I think it's. This is not the first time I've seen it. It's been a while, but I just think it's a massive mess. And the reason I think it's a mess is because I've seen a lot of his other work, and a lot of his other work isn't like this. It does these things, but it does them in a much better way. Gosford Park is a great example of a lot of people talking at once, but everything works. The audio's clean. You can tell whatever everybody's being said, and it's, telling you this murder mystery type of thing. And I think A Prairie Home Companion, to a certain extent, also does that very well, where you've got 4 and 5 people all talking at once, but it's either broken up in a patois that works for you, or it's leveled correctly and mixed correctly. To where it doesn't just sound like the same drone. Like this movie just sort of droned on me to where I was like, man,
well, that's why I don't watch it.
It's a tough movie to fucking watch, man. And also I'll say this. I grew up listening to country music as a kid. I was forced to, like, that was all I had to listen to. And this does seem to be like that. They do seem to be sort of making fun of that overtake of like John Denver and Olivia Newton-John that was coming up into country music. But at the same time, like, if you're going to do parody songs, at least make them good. At least make them, something that you can listen to. Most of these things were just
yeah.
They were really rough to listen to.
And I think that's the point. I think it's like a Branson. Is it Branson? Like,
yes, Branson.
Places like that where it's like, oh, these are like the Conway Twitties or the people that don't really, they're more niche outside of the place where they're residencies.
What's her name? The lead character, the one that gets shot, she's supposed to be
like a Loretta Lynn type.
Loretta Lynn, right? And Loretta Lynn's a big fucking star, dude. Like, she's huge.
I'm talking about like the Henry Gibson type. So it's like, oh yeah, that people know who he is, but by and large, his bread and butter is there. In Nashville, so it's kind of like you're seeing the town entertain itself to. I mean, I guess it has a really good arts district. I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's always bands playing that are always, like, your only purpose is to prop up Nashville as a place, as a thing, and all these long hairs are showing up here, and the conservatives aren't happy with it anymore, and then you got this weird fucking Ross Perot other party guy going around stirring up shit. And
I've got a page and a half of notes, and then it says, and then I realize I'm 27 minutes in. Like,
well, yeah, that's about right. It's very dense. There's a lot packed in.
It's yeah, but
if you can sit through it multiple times, I find it more rewarding the more I watch it.
It's so poorly paced. Like, it's so poorly paced.
Oh, that's the 70s.
It's just paced so bad.
The nice thing I realize now about experimental film is it might seem bizarre at first, but as it goes through the years, it becomes the things that work in it are extracted from it and put into the mainstream so-called normal narrative movies. So these experimental movies are important, even if they're kind of hard to sit through sometimes.
I mean, this isn't experimental. This is a mainstream movie. I mean, this was a mainstream release that went out and went out for Oscar contention and got nods.
Everything in the 70s was experimental.
What I mean? I
mean, as far as the way it was made, it's experimental. All the mics everywhere and the way it's cut and stuff. It was made with mainstream in mind, but back then, Zardoz was mainstream. You know, the crazy ideas were of the time 50 years ago. I kind of missed the ballsy audacity weirdness of it, you know, the jagged edges of the film.
Okay. I mean, I would say that I would point to a lack of creativity, and I think the 70s were super creative. I'll agree with you there. I don't know if I agree with you on the other point, but I agree that 70s were taking jumps and swings that other filmmakers nowadays aren't doing for the most part. And if they are, it's probably considered experimental. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, Altman, like, he predates all those 70s guys. Like, he was like the precursor, you know.
Goddamn cocaine is what it is, Marty. It's
I just thought the cocaine more in Popeye, you know. But I mean, you look at Shelley Duvall and you think maybe there is cocaine in this movie. So.
Yeah, and I'm.
What is the one line I said? If you please eat something, or somewhere the guy.
Yeah, please stop doing this to yourself and eat something. And
I like that. Just about everybody has at least one interaction with everybody else at some point in the movie. Like they finally. You know, until at the very end, Shelley Duvall's with the other guy from the trio. It's like, fuck, now they've hooked up. It's like, it's just strange.
Yeah, she basically just works her way, you know, through everybody in the film.
The chauffeur has a story arc after a while, you know, because everybody's trying to make it there.
I mean, dude, if you make a movie that's 3 hours long, of course everybody's going to have their own arc. I mean, for fuck's sake.
Well, I'm glad they do.
It's
like the person who can't sing. It's like she must. I think at the end of the day, she realizes that she has no talent, but she just doesn't fucking care. And I think some of the people that are popular and have no talent, and they just don't care. Also, I think there's a similarity to that. And meanwhile, you have the person who ends up. I don't know if she's opportunistic or shell-shocked at the end of the movie when she picks up the mic and starts singing, but we don't really see her earlier in the movie getting up and singing when she's the person who supposedly can sing. I mean, I guess she sings at the NASCAR track the one time where nobody can hear her. Just also showing the absurdity of what people will go through to try to get into the business. I don't know. There's just a lot of little things throughout like that I enjoyed. I also enjoy how it all comes together at the ending as well. When I feel like the movie hints that the killer is another Vietnam vet, because there's the one scene where Opal looks at Scott Glenn and is like, "Ah, you just came back from Nam. I can tell by looking at you." And then the guy kind of looks over and he has this distressed look on his face. But he was at that funeral with Keenan Wynn. I don't think he was even planning on going to that rally, but when he shows up at the rally and sees Barbara Jean, who he thinks is now voicing for this politician, does that drive him to shoot her at that point? Or was it premeditated, or did he decide to do it on the spot?
I don't know.
I feel like it was an on the spot this time.
He leaves it so ambiguous that there's really no telling.
I used to think it was premeditated. Today I was like, oh, he was at that funeral, and he just followed that old man, Keenan Wynn, because he was like, oh, I got to go find Shelley Duvall, you know. But also, in another case of complete non-reality, the rally's over, right? You're not going to continue the rally. She's just been shot, and everybody's just standing, or are they all, as Francis would say, combat fatigue? We're up to 4 syllables now. Is it supposed to represent that? Or I know the whole movie's satirical anyway, but
I think it jumps its own shark. You know, I think by doing what it does, it leaves the realm of satire and enters the realm of maybe tragedy. With this death at the end. And I feel like it's a bit of a deus ex machina. Like, how are we going to end this? Let's shoot the girl type of thing. We'll have the killer. You know, I feel like he's definitely trying to make comments on pop culture and society, but he's falling short because he can't get out of his own way, and he fucking really needs to. Like, he needs to get out of his own way with this movie, and he just can't do it.
I don't know. I think it feels more relevant today.
I don't think I don't see that at all. I mean, I just don't see it. And my other problem with this movie is it's not very visually appealing to look at. After watching Oppenheimer, which is sort of less story and more visually appealing than I come to this, it's like, it's I
like this.
I like Altman's movies, but this one, this one's not doing it for me. Jeff Goldblum's character doesn't make any sense. He doesn't do anything. He's just on screen doing magic. Elliot Gould shows up for no fucking reason. Julie Christie shows up for no fucking reason, right? Other than, well, they were in town and they agreed to be in the movie. They wanted to see what was going on.
It's to show the facets of a celebrity, That guy's singing his horrible song, and immediately she's like, "Is that Elliot Gould?" And immediately stops paying attention to him because she's always in these fucking places where she shouldn't be and managing to worm herself into it. And the Julie Christie thing was like this kind of like, oh, we're going to act like we care who you are. And then she leaves and they're like, who the fuck was... And he's like, oh, she won? No, I can't remember. And it's like, oh, yeah, because you're just going through the motions of celebrity. You don't really care about the other person.
I guess. I didn't get that. I just, I don't know. I feel like, again, the music in this movie was torture.
Oh, I will agree with you.
Even with the satire, and I think it really killed the movie for me. I also just don't think the movie's structured very well. I don't think it tells its own story very, very well. It's
I think
really
for not having a story. I think it tells the story pretty well.
Okay.
That it somehow manages to take all these different stories and converge them all into something that makes sense at the end. That's not easy.
I think what it's trying to do is it feels like what it's trying to do is a sort of satirical slice of life, and I feel like that's accomplished by other filmmakers a lot better. And I'm glad he sort of strayed away from that a bit and started to do more. He stopped trying to make such big statements and be so political and just moved into making good movies.
Well, right? Because you already did it. You don't.
I feel like it got in his way. I heard that Duvall was going to play Henry Gibson's part, and I think that would have made a much more interesting movie. I would have liked to have seen Duvall as the...
Oh, not Shelley Duvall, but Robert.
No,
Duvall.
Robert Duvall.
I'm like, Shelley Duvall as the...
Yeah. And Ronnie Blakely, to me, is the most believable part of the movie.
I think she was nominated as well. Yeah.
It's the rest of it's kind of a fever dream, and
it is a fever dream.
Like watching a director masturbate in a weird way, where it's just like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch you do this.
One of the songs was written by Gary Busey. A song called "Since You've Gone." I could be wrong. I watched the documentaries years ago. I think he might have been the Keith Carradine role at one point, or up for it. Which also makes a different movie. You throw Gary Busey into this thing.
Sure.
Holy shit! So it's not strange enough.
I will say Christina Rains is absolutely stunningly, strikingly beautiful in this movie as Mary. She reminds me of Crystal Gale or Emmylou Harris.
Oh, right, from the trio. Yeah.
Yeah, she's really, really beautiful.
They're doing the song, and in perfect kind of those type of movies, the song's lyrics are accusatory as she's singing them at the guy. It's like, oh, basically, like, I know you're fucking around on me. It gave me those kind of, Band-Aid type.
Well, she's fucking around on him. Yeah. She's married.
Well, that too. So see, that's
the balls to call somebody out when you're sleeping around on your husband is pretty fucking insane.
They're all vapid musicians. I don't think any musician in this movie is not vapid. I think they're all shown as, and so it doesn't give you anybody to connect to, right? It goes full, as Tropic Thunder would call it. You got to take a step back and give the audience something to connect to. You went, everybody's an asshole.
I mean, it just, you talked about you've mentioned some nihilistic movie. Oh, the '90s with the nihilism. This is
'70s. Yeah,
this is a fucking nihilistic movie from
totally
hell.
Is. Like I mentioned earlier, this might be one of the most '70s of them all. Right smack dab in the middle. Super nihilistic.
You're gonna have I'm gonna say probably Foxes or something like that is probably the most weird '70s nihilistic shit.
Ooh.
But
well, that'll be fun to get to that one.
Yeah. But look, breaking into showbiz and having your dreams broken and the total being overwhelmed by your stardom and the terribleness of it. These are all themes we've seen over and over again. I mean,
we 75 had you.
I mean, yeah, but A Star Is Born has been done
I was thinking of that one too, but that's about one person.
True, but it's still about the same sort of things, though, the same themes, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's just he's taken that and putting it into the MASH format. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm gonna have a lot of people talking all at once, and things are gonna move around to different vignettes, and it's not gonna make a ton of sense, but I'm gonna try and tie it together. And
fucking mad genius.
It didn't fucking work for me. I think he's much better when he's a little more reserved. In my opinion, he makes more sense to me in that way. This one, he seems to be trying to say too many things all at once, and it's getting drowned out by his own voice.
I think ultimately
it's like he's trying to say too many things all at the same time.
But I think it's all just one thing, and that's that. What did I say earlier? The vapid is just. It doesn't matter if you're. The person who's successful is just as vapid as the person who isn't successful in this movie. It's just people will do anything to be a star,
So does he include himself in that? Being a famous director and
probably by making a movie bloated like this is the ultimate pointing the finger back at himself. It's almost
I respect that for sure. I mean, I definitely respect. I mean, I respect the self-awareness if that's true.
But the other of trying to. Right, to try to cram that many characters together and have it make any sense. But I kept coming back to it over and over again. Tommy Brown, he's in East Meets Watts. So there's your Al Adamson connection.
I mean, I think, honestly, I'd rather watch Dr. T and the Women.
Well, who knows? We might end up watching that.
You have to bring that up, too. Yeah. Maybe Ready to Wear or Shortcuts, The Player,
Yeah, I like this more than Shortcuts. Because Shortcuts felt like if he had made Oppenheimer. And what I mean by that is you're doing everything and it's very structurally clean, but there's no feeling. It was more shock and awe in that one from what I remember. There's something about the insane ruggedness of this movie. It gives me a flashback, kind of just like, oh my god, he captured the weirdness and the bleakness of the 70s and the psychedelic nature of it all in one thing somehow. And you couldn't make that movie in a different year. It wouldn't come out the same.
I don't know. I think before and after this film, he made some just better material, but I'm ready. I think I've basically said all I want to say.
I'm not saying this is his greatest movie, but I'm saying it's a pretty good one. Yeah,
it's a lot of fucking cocaine in this movie.
Well, you would think you'd see characters doing it.
They were more. I didn't see him doing it in 1941 or Neighbors, and those are cocaine-riddled movies.
Well, that's true, but they weren't about musicians.
Cocaine. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
See, because then we watch Blow next week, and we see the story of when Coke coming in. Again, it was.
Oh shit!
Well, write in and tell us the historical accuracy of cocaine in Nashville. So I guess I'm going to give it a 4, even though it's probably leaning to the 3.5 because the music is so bad. But I've always felt the music was bad on purpose. It's kind of like going, this is what it sounds like to me. All that music you make me listen to all the time, this is what it sounds like. Oh my God, that's what you were going through? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I never meant to do that to you.
I like country music. And I can tell the difference between good country music and bad country music.
Of course.
Which is, I think,
fun of bad country music is what I'm talking about.
I kind of feel like he's just taking it maybe just a shot at country music in general.
The whole city was not happy with this film, apparently.
They weren't, maybe that's the problem. Maybe he should have been clearer about it, right? Like maybe he should have been, because like when you have stars that mimic like Loretta Lynn and Roy Acuff and some of these other honored country music stars, maybe you need to kind of go a little more overboard to kind of separate the person that you're in your movie from them. But
good thing he didn't use real music too, because
well, yeah. Well, and I'll give him this. Apparently, all the performances were recorded live, and that sounded halfway decent for that. That's tough to do. But anyway, so I'm going to give it 2.5.
It's like a CBGB where it's I thought country was going to be the next big thing. Yeah, in Nashville.
I didn't necessarily like it.
It happens sometimes.
I didn't necessarily like it. I think, prior to this, he had done McCabe and Mrs. Miller, Long Goodbye, California Split. I enjoyed those a lot better. This felt kind of self-indulgent for him, but he's still a great filmmaker, and it wasn't. It's like watching like the Nolan thing, where it's like it's even his bad. It's like, or like Spielberg, like even his bad stuff is still pretty fucking good. And we have to pick it apart.
It's good that you brought that up again, because I see those top 100 movie books you should watch before you die, and
this is included in them all the time.
Well, that's what I was about to say. There's a bunch of movies in there that I'm like, what? But there's also movies in there that I really like, and I could see an updated edition including Oppenheimer, and then Nashville is one of the earlier entries, because they always pick Nashville or McCabe or MASH. They never include Mashville, the combination of the became the musician with Radar O'Reilly and Grape Knee-High. I like the one where Andrew Dice Clay runs over the trumpet.
Oh my God.
That's really an episode of MASH, people. Well, that was a couple of long movies.
Yeah.
That was almost 6 hours worth of film viewing this week. It's almost like having a third movie snuck in on us.
Some strong opinions from the both of us, I think.
Yeah. That's what makes it interesting.
That's what makes it interesting, yeah. Oh, I can take Oppenheimer off my list. Fantastic.
Yeah, you certainly can.
All right. So,
the Barbenheimer effect.
What do you got for me next week?
But yet Nashville and Oppenheimer work together well too, I thought. Next week,
they were pretty good. They were good. I'm just 2 long movies in a row is a bit like made for a rough week.
Yeah, let's just lighten up a little bit. Lighten up, Francis. I still think that the drill instructor in Stripes is referencing Francis the Talking Mule now when he says that. Even though the guy's name is Francis, I still think it's a nod to that. Because the Francis movie was only not even 30 years old at the time Stripes was made. But you're not watching Stripes next week.
No?
Because PJ Souls has not been announced for Mad Monster. But keeping with my Mad Monster theme, we watched Nashville because Ronnie Blakely is, strangely enough, Barbara Jean is alive and well and appearing at Mad Monster. It's okay. She had a bulletproof vest on. The concert continues. Next week, you're watching Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Really?
Because Amanda Wyss is in the film. She will be at the con, and we need to take it down a notch, as they would say in Dinner in America, and have something that's a little light, a movie that you know backwards and forwards. It's also back to school time, kind of, by the time this episode's dropping, and I think it'll just be a nice palate cleanser to say aloha to Mr. Hand once again.
he doesn't mean masturbation, folks. So I was going to give you the next movie on my list. However, we're going to deviate because it's a longer one again. And I agree with you. Let's give each other a break. So I'm going to bring in my backup, which is a Mad Monster pick. And it is Fighting with My Family.
Oh.
Which is about Paige, the wrestler from the WWE, and how she got into wrestling. Yep.
All right.
Stars Nick Frost and Queen Cersei. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll hate it. It'll be great. It'll make for a good episode.
You never know, though. You never really know. Because, like, I probably wouldn't have put on Oppenheimer on my own volition anytime soon.
Yeah, same.
I'm so glad I watched it. So
yeah, well, it's well made. It's just he's not my kind of filmmaker, you know. But he's well made. There are several like filmmakers that, like, I'm not a Shyamalan fan. I don't.
Right.
You know, I'm not much of a fan of that. You know, there's other filmmakers out there. I'm just not a fan of the way they do stuff. You know, Robert Eggers, for some reason, you know, some of those others, Villeneuve, those guys, is that how you say his name?
Mm-hmm.
Villeneuve, he's French. Those guys, I like the way they make films. Anywho.
You know what the Pringles mascot's name is?
No.
Julius Pringles. It's like Oppenheimer.
Julius Pringles. Why not?
One last nonsense trivia. I don't have a movie quote, I realize.
I don't either. I don't have one either. I just realized the same thing. So let's get out of here before
movies with so much dialogue, you'd think you'd, you know.
Oh, I do have. Don't you realize you're brilliant, Eugene, the son of a bitch? I guess that's my quote from Oppenheimer.
Right. Well, we must have been doing something right to last 200 years.
Yeah, there you go. Good job. Let's get out of here. Let's leave it on that note.
When I want pig, I ask for pig. I don't want frog. You get a haircut. You don't belong in Nashville.
That's a good call. There you go. All right, man. Well, I guess it's Mad Monster for next week. Yep. We'll see you later. Don't miss an episode. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, like us on YouTube, or give us a 5-star rating on the podcast app of your choice.